organizing.
Hey, Kurt. Is this your presentation file up already?
It should be in there already, yeah.
That isn't it. This
The
one's
NOVA,
that one's you,
exactly.
right? Okay.
So today I'm going to give you an overview of what's happening with the pipelines. This is my third year, actually my third anniversary is this month working on the pipelines campaign. It's been a long, desperate fight. As one person said, there's something for everybody to hate in this campaign. So we don't discriminate. And we call it pipeline madness because it truly is just madness what they're trying to do in the state. It's the largest, will have the largest impact on our environment of any of the upcoming projects because of the increase in the greenhouse gas emissions that will result from these pipelines. Next. So here's some of the pipelines. In fact, all the major pipelines. You will see the Mountain Valley Pipeline running through the Southwest Virginia area, the Atlantic Coast Pipeline running down into North Carolina, down into Virginia Beach area. They all start up in the fracking fields of northwestern West Virginia, up in Braxton and Harrison County. And they are being fracked to death. If you go up there and take a tour of that area, you will see nothing but fracking sites. It's been going on for several years. But in addition, there's trying to build more pipelines up north of us. You can see the whole list here of pipelines proposed. Let's get back for just a second to the map, if you could.
Yeah, that was weird. It just did it by itself.
Yep, it's automatic.
Don't worry. We're going to wrangle this. It's going to be just fine.
So here's the main line here, Transco. Transco line goes all the way up into New England, Boston area from Texas. It's a 10,000 mile long pipeline. And that's the spinal column, the gas distribution center for the East Coast. Let's go to the next one.
Is Transco already built?
It is. And they're doing some work on that now.
There's a hotkey problem with this thing. Sorry, technical difficulties.
Oops. May have to do it by hand.
Maybe.
Okay. Well, the first one is actually 600 miles long, and it's going to carry 1.5 billion cubic feet of gas per day. It's estimated to cost $4 to $5 billion. It's being done by Dominion Energy. You've probably seen their commercials on TV recently. Can you go to the next one?
I need to
go to manual mode.
Yeah, where?
Maybe you can just hit enter with the space bar.
Maybe.
Macbook settings.
I'm not familiar with Keynote. Shoot. Well, sorry, Kurt.
It's okay. The other one is this is the other one. It's 330 miles long, and both of these are 42-inch diameter pipelines. They're bigger than the Keystone XL pipeline out in the Midwest. 2 billion cubic feet per day are going through this pipeline. There's no real reason to build this pipeline because it doesn't serve anybody's interest in Virginia. Let's go to the next one.
Space bar.
Nope.
No.
Any other guess?
Forward arrow,
Forward arrow? No.
Kelsey right there.
up arrow.
You know
Did you
Keynote?
try the up arrow?
Yeah, usually it works.
Yeah, right?
It's not actually. So I think
Play.
if you don't use that symbol,
Maybe.
If you made that really big and just use the side trim to go down. Yeah, just do that.
Okay.
There you go.
Just do
There,
that.
we can do that.
Does that work?
Yes.
Okay.
Good enough.
Cool.
Let me add to the Mountain Valley Pipeline. That's in Southwest Virginia. They consider themselves the lost part of the state. They call it the sacrifice zone. A lot of older people, farmers, people who've been there for generations are having their farms crossed. They're pretty upset. In Roanoke County, my home county, they have posses going up and down the road looking for survey parties to stop them. They have had spontaneous demonstrations to block the surveyors on different properties. WB Express is 1.3 billion cubic feet per day. It's an upgrade of an existing system that's already in place. There will be a new compressor station near Centerville as part of this project. Go ahead.
It's owned by TransCanada.
Yep, exactly. They bought out Columbia Gas. Yes,
Is that separate from the Pleasant Valley station that
it is.
is expanding?
That's a Dominion project, so it's an upgrade of an existing compressor station. Okay, let's go on. If we could. I think we skipped a couple. No, we did not. You're right. Okay. Some of the issues I'm going to cover today are the taking of private property. You can see some of the demonstrations. We've had numerous demonstrations. I've seen 500 or 600 people in auditoriums coming out in the central and the southwest Virginia area to protest, to attend public hearings, and to get their board of supervisors to come out in opposition to the pipelines. Next. These are the major issues. First of all, we are so concerned about this project because it increases the number of tons in volume of greenhouse gas emissions in the region by 95 million tons per year. Currently, we have 49.7 million tons per year as total emissions in the state. So it almost doubles. Now, if you add the 49 onto the 95, that's 144 as a total, which is triple what we have now. The land use impacts, including the exercise of eminent domain and future land use restrictions, property values go down. People just about lose all of their property values when these pipelines come across them. Safety issues, there's numerous pipeline explosions across the country. Some of them are huge. Impacts of fragmentation on forested areas. Pipelines cross several national forests. These are virgin areas that have not been fragmented, large blocks of unfragmented forest. Impacts on surface water resources. People are very concerned about the springs and their drinking waters along the route of the pipeline. Protected species and habitats. One county, Craig County, Virginia, has these t-shirts where they say, "We have mussels." And that means they have the James River spine mussel in their area, which is being impacted by the Mountain Valley Pipeline. Cultural resources, battlefields in Shenandoah Valley are being crossed, and we know of two. And then the compressor station located in Buckingham County, which you've had a huge fight over that particular compressor station. Next. You can see, here's Nelson County, Virginia. There's a couple of zones. There's the blast zone, which is 1,400 feet on either side of the pipeway. And then the evacuation zone is another mile on each side of the pipeline. Here's a recent explosion. This entire town was evacuated in Pennsylvania. And there's another one from the Transco line explosion in Pennsylvania also.
Sorry, when you say evacuation zone, what does that mean?
That means that you have to be taken out of that area because you're subject to possible gas or other debris that's being exploded from the pipelines if it ruptures.
Not during the construction, but
If there's an explosion or rupture. Yep.
it's the taking of private property, but it's the taking of private property for private gain,
That's correct.
not for public.
It's not. It is not for public gain.
I couldn't hear the question, so.
The question was, you want to repeat?
It's not just the taking of private property, it's the taking of private property for private gain. Eminent domain is usually used when you have something that's going to benefit the public, not a private company.
Next. And here we go. With the George Washington National Forest, you'll also see the Monongahela, and down south is the Jefferson National Forest. These pipelines cross through these areas. And these are some of the areas I was referring to earlier, large unfragmented blocks of almost virgin forest, and there's some old growth forest in this area. The Forest Service is not happy with their crossings. Go ahead. And again, they rerouted the Atlantic Coast Pipeline because they found that there was endangered species. So they had to run it over into Highland County and Bath County. But what they did was they put it through conservation easements the Virginia Outdoor Foundation owns, which is a kind of defeating the purpose of the conservation easement, running a utility through one of our conservation easements. So they have been very upset and have said, well, we don't really want them, but we'll wait for FERC to make a decision to see if we'll let them through or not. Go ahead, next. Impacts to watersheds. In the Shenandoah Valley, we have a lot of karst topography. You can see in Augusta County, this is a karst plain here over into Highland and Bath counties. It's full of karst topography. So, the problem is that we, and I as a professional engineer, think it's not going to be easy or actually feasible to build through these areas because of the possibility of sinkholes forming. And they do form rapidly in these areas. We've seen them form overnight. Yes, 5 minutes.
Karst
Okay.
is limestone?
It is,
Okay.
exactly. I'm going to have to run through some of these slides really quickly. Okay, go ahead. And here's what's happened. It gets down off the mountainsides into a large gullies or holes or caverns at the bottom of the mountains. And that's what we're concerned about. Go ahead. Again, steep slopes are a big problem. You can see here we have a stream valley in the middle with steep slopes coming down on either side. So then the water runoff from the mountains, the construction areas, runs right into those streams. Next. This is a boring site in West Virginia. It was a 1,000-foot bore under the Interstate 79. We have a 4,000-foot bore for the ACP under the Appalachian Trail and the Blue Ridge Parkway. There's some of the hardest stone on the earth. It's a greenstone. Next. This is a case study of a pipeline built in 2013, 2014 in Giles County, Virginia. Go ahead. And here's what happened. See the construction area above the silt fence? It failed. Everything failed, and we had mud flowing down the entire mountainside. The inspector said it looked like a lava flow of mud down the mountainside. Go ahead. The contractor decided not to put ENS devices in one night, and he said, well, it's not going to rain tonight. Well, guess what? It rained like mad, and you saw the results of that in the previous slide.
Excuse me, where was this?
This is in Giles County near Pembroke, Virginia. Erosion sediment control devices. Go ahead.
Silk fences.
Silt fences. This is a view of the corridor here, and you can see there's a sinkhole right down the bottom where the runoff was going into the groundwater. Go ahead. And guess what? The water supply is just downstream of this area. So they've been changing a lot of filters in the water treatment plant every 2 weeks. Go ahead. There's no compelling need, which Thomas is going to go into more detail on that. And we have enough gas. We don't need another pipeline. We've shown it in 2 studies in the last 3 years, and both of them indicated that there's no real need for these pipelines. Go ahead. This one just shows that we are outpacing the development of pipelines is outpacing the production of natural gas. We'll have more pipelines than we will have natural gas. Go ahead. We are in the final phases of review, unfortunately. This is the last year possibly for this campaign. We have a number of applications and certifications that are being done over the next, well, actually starting next week. The final EIS for the Mountain Valley Pipeline comes out on June 23rd and July 19th for the Atlantic Coast Pipeline. That's the FERC review of the application for the certification of public need and necessity. And let's see, I'm running out of time. So what I'm going to do, 5 extra minutes? Okay, thank you. Okay, we have been through the review processes for the draft EISs over the last 6 months. We've submitted numerous comments by many different organizations throughout the state. There are groups that just sprang up for no other reason than to fight these pipelines in the different counties. Friends of Nelson's, Friends of Buckingham, Preserve Giles, Preserve Roanoke County, Preserve Buckingham, and so on and so forth. We have a couple of large coalitions that have developed, the Allegheny Blue Ridge Alliance over the last 3 years, and the Protect Our Water and Heritage and Resources Coalition down in Southwest Virginia. And we're all working together to try to defeat these pipelines. These are hundreds and thousands of people down in Southwest and Central Virginia area. So as part of that, again, we're getting ready to come down, we're coming down to the wire now on the reviews. On the side, people are doing nonviolent direct action training in different groups, in different settings, in different areas of the state to prepare for possibly the final decisions not going our way. Go ahead. Strategy. 401, Section 401 Clean Water Permit is under review now. We're not happy with DEQ because they backtracked on the process. They said that they were going to let the Army Corps of Engineers do the string crossing reviews. We don't want that. We're preparing a legal strategy to challenge that right now. Go ahead. The Appalachian Trail is another organization very concerned because they have so many of their, they have 6 to 8 crossings and they don't want any of them on the East Coast. 2 in Virginia, and they're fighting pretty hard to stop these pipelines also. Go ahead. Forest Service. They're going to be making a record of decision, a draft record of decision, probably at the end of this coming week. Then we go into an objection phase and then a resolution phase. The Forest Service has been very vocal about their comments. They've submitted numerous comments. They don't want the pipelines, but they may not have a choice because of the political situation in D.C. Go ahead. Okay, let's skip over. And this is an estimate of the greenhouse gas emissions that we've done for the Atlantic Coast pipelines. You can see the range on the low end, 40.7 million tons per year, high end, 68.4. Next.
This is what they actually reported?
We have done these calculations. We did a life cycle assessment for the pipelines, and these are our calculations.
So it's based on the maximum capacity of the pipeline?
Yes, exactly. It covers the production at the wellhead, transmission leakage, and then the burning of the gas at the power plants. That's what's covered. So you can see on the MVP, it's even bigger. They have a larger capacity, so they start at 54.3 and go up to 91.2. And that's the range for the Mountain Valley Pipeline. Again, we only have 49 in the entire state. And I've got a quick question.
Does methane contribute to that?
There is a specific calculation for the methane, and I can show you those later if you wish. I've got a copy of this. Next. This is a gas production rate. It peaked last year, so now we're on the downhill side of gas production. Next. Electricity demand flatlined since 2008. We have not grown in demand rates for electricity since then. A lot of it's being attributed to the LED, the light bulbs. Go ahead. Can you hold on for a minute, please? If these pipelines are built, they're going to invest billions, $8 billion or more in these pipelines. They won't have any money left to put it into renewable energy. Go ahead. Today, and this will be my closing, we have an event going on right now. It's a 2-week event. It's walking the lines, what it's called, the Atlantic Coast Pipeline. So a group of 35 to 40 people is hiking 150 miles from Bath County down to Buckingham County into the heart of Virginia. So I'm going to show you a 3-minute video and then I will sit down. Can you bring up the video?
Yep.
Proposed to travel on what we call Miracle Ridge and actually destroy Miracle Ridge.
Sometimes it can seem as if we're only reaping what others more powerful have sown. And sometimes we are helpless when we try to go it alone. But together, we can sow a richer, stronger harvest. From June 17th to July 2nd, your neighbors will walk the proposed Atlantic Coast Pipeline route. Walking the line into the heart of Virginia seeks to sow new seeds, new energies for our land, our water, our air, and our children. If you've been cheating, you better quit your cheating. If you've been cheating, you better quit your cheating. If you've been cheating, you better quit your cheating. You're gonna reap just what you sow. Join us for some or all of our walk. Invite us to listen to your community along our way. Join our free celebration concert Friday, June 23rd in Stanton. Create your own verse of So I'm on the Mountain and let us know you plan to come and sing it at the Stanton Celebration concert for our second music video. Links for the walk, waste, health, celebration, concert reservations, and more information of all kinds will continue to sprout on our Walking the Line Facebook page. Give us a listen, because together we can reap just what we choose to sow. You're gonna reap just what you sow.
That was really compelling, and your presentation was really compelling. Kurt tells me that those slides will be made available. I'll let Kelsey decide how the technology they're going to be made available on, but I think for people who want to get more in depth
So
in that
on
presentation.
down to Richmond Valley. So on down to Richmond Valley.
Sorry. Went on by itself.
Okay, that's...
Yes.
All these slides, and there's a previous version on our Great Falls Group website at Sierra Club, and we'll update it with this.
Okay, great.
And
So that's
any other stuff that you want to put out there, we'll put out there.
yes.
I had a question for you.
Okay, Kurt, you want to answer a question?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
If there's been no demand for increased electricity for the past several years, then what's in it for the companies to keep building these pipelines?
Thomas will explain that. The bottom line is money.
I know, but...
Thomas will get that in his presentation.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's a 14% profit return, or return of rate on their equity.
Excuse me, you mentioned two papers establishing no need for the pipeline, are those papers available?
They are, and we can put those on.
That would be great.
Norbert, you want to put those on your website?
Sure, we'll put anything that you want on the website.
Is your slideshow available?
That's
It
what we're
will
talking
be,
about.
yes.
Oh, great.
Yeah, this presentation. Glenn?
Sorry.
What are they doing about the
Finance
karst
report's probably one of them.
formations? What are they doing about
They have it.
the?
We've done a huge studies and excellent, some of the most best experts in the country do karst studies, and then one of them said, this is a no-build zone. But FERC said, we don't care. We're just going to ignore it anyway.
Okay, thanks for those
Are
questions.
those sinkholes because they'll cause the line to crack?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, is that why they're an issue? The sinkholes
Okay, that's the
will
last
cause it
question. We
Because-
gotta keep moving here.
Well, the example I have is that a cow disappeared in Augusta County one night down a sinkhole. It creates this huge hole in the ground. And when you get water, it just dissolves the underground.
No, but I meant.
Kelsey has the answer.
I can use my degree and I can answer this. So limestone, and I know a lot. Florida is full of limestone. It's porous. Water goes into the pores, and then you get all of the different chemicals. And if you have salts and other chemicals in there, it just continues to expand the pores until you get really, really large holes. And then you have a thin layer of limestone over those large holes. That's why you had that big incident like in Orlando where an entire house fell into a sinkhole. Just the more water,
Her
the
question is,
water
what does it do to the
limestone.
pipeline?
Right, I guess my
Oh.
question was, how does the sinkhole relate to the pipeline? Are we concerned
Pipeline
that
doesn't give us
building
support
is
in
gonna
it.
cause them, or
As-
are the buildings going to crack the line?
Yeah, it'll crack the pipeline as the land subsides, and yeah.
It's no longer supported properly, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not, yeah.
Okay, I knew we'd get there. Okay, so we need to keep moving here because we want you all to get out in a timely manner. So next we have Thomas Hadwin. He's a pipelines activist with the Friends of the Central Shenandoah in Nelson County, Virginia. He's here to tell us about the Friends of the Central Shenandoah's work on the ACP. He has a very unique perspective as he's a former electric and gas utility executive. So we'll get all the inside scoop here. Welcome, Tom.